Y'all ready to roll?
Whenever you are, sir.
Yeah, let's do this. Lay Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bring that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, NERDSoul Sports. Before we get started, we are joined by some awesome folks. We got right here, C Brown. Say what's up.
Yo, what's up? Coming out here to represent for the VA crew, Richmond, VA.
Hey,
All right, and
hey.
in the bottom square, PL Parker Lewis. What's up?
What up, Parker P.L. Lewis? Help the Bear out now. Available now on all streaming sites. You dig? If you got some time, go stream that.
Word up. Well, I wanted to start off our stories with this week. Slightly sad, but I wanted to give guys an update. Philadelphia Sixers star Joel Embiid has bone bruising knee to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. People aren't feeling good about where he's at. He might not be, able to play for the longer term period, depending on what happens. But it seems here that fans in Utah want to know if he's also going to get stitches. Oh, man. It took all I could to hold that in. Because snitches get stitches. We ain't going...
While we being sad, NERDSoul, man, I don't know if you know, it just recently happened about a couple hours ago, man. R.I.P. Rest in peace to Marvin Hagler, boxer.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Marvin.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I didn't know that. But yeah, that Joel Embiid joint. I saw it. I was like, I can't wait.
Let him live, man. Let him live, man.
So Cooley high up in the chat. What up? Nice to see you, man. Good to see you. So to start on one of our topics that I thought was interesting this week is the whole, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm gonna just say Derrius
Guice.
Derrius G.
Guice.
All right, Guice. Derrius Guice. All right, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to put the link up in the chat for the article so y'all can see it. All right, look, I'm gonna just read it. All right, more allegations about Derrius Guice's muddled past at LSU come to light, meaning like this is way back when, well, maybe not way back, but I mean it was back when he was in college, getting his college on. All right, so Yahoo Sports reports the former Washington football team running back Derrius Guice hasn't been on the mind of many fans of the burgundy and gold recently, thanks to the rising star of Antonio Gibson and the prowess that he showed in his rookie season. However, more troubling details about Guice and his past at LSU show a history of alleged sexual harassment that leads one to understand more about his eventual release from the team after being arrested for domestic violence in the weeks before the 2020 season began. Guice was arrested in Northern Virginia and charged with several counts related to alleged domestic violence, facing charges of strangulation, assault, battery, and destruction of property. Now a new report shows that his behavior might not have been a one-off, with a new story from the Citrus Bowl, in 2017, providing a tough look for the former NFL running back. And this story is crazy because it says that on December 9th of 2017, Guice attended a high school football game at the New Orleans Superdome. Following the game, the athletics department received a report that Guice had aggressively sexually harassed a 70-year-old Superdome security guard. All right? So it's like, oh, snap. Hold up. A security guard? So usually you're like, all right, man. Yeah, look, I'm going to need more than that. So stories start swirling. He starts trending, and people are like, kind of going on to me too. Like other, young ladies start popping up. And then, of course, we get another story about the 70-year-old woman at LSU. It says, an excerpt of what she shared by Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated says, at 3:30 p.m., she was sitting on a chair at her post when Derrius Guice and several other men approached her. She began saying that he likes older women and asked if she would have sex with him. She was shocked and told him that it was not funny. He continued to gesture at his private area and grab himself in front of her, saying that older women are my thing and that they could just go off and do it somewhere. She told him that she is a grandmother and 70 years old, and that he shouldn't talk to people that way, especially your elders. The other men began to laugh. She tried to tell him how disgusting it was, and he would treat her that way, but he kept talking about sex as he got into an elevator and left. She reported to her supervisor, and the person called the coach at LSU. He said that Derrius was probably just kidding around, that Derrius came from a broken home. She said that she did not care and that he should be punished for his behavior. That said, he did it with such ease that she felt that something had to be done, before it got worse. The coach asked what she wanted, an apology. She told him that she wanted Derrius to sit out from a game, the bowl game. He dismissed her, and no one has returned her call or done anything. So, of course, we don't really have, outside of the Me Too's, nobody's really providing much, but people are really doubling down on this story, saying like, hey, this is smoke, so there's got to be fire. I mean, well, technically, there's already been fire with the rest and everything in 2020, but that's wild, son. Like, when I was like, that's wild. Like, maybe a random person, but a security guard? And then, so one, that's wild. And then I want to ask you guys about the culture in college sports or in sports general, because she was like, all right, cool. I wanted to sit out for a bowl game. You know what I'm saying? That'll be something that, really hurts them, really harms them or whatever. And then she said everything was just like, alakazam, sploosh, gone.
It all depends. Like, everything is like based on star power, right?
Yep.
Like, at that time, I want to say he was splitting time as, like, he was co-starting running back at LSU at that time. LSU was in the hunt for a championship. Not only was the 70-year-old incident a thing, there's also like 2 or 3 other females that was on that were students at the time that claimed he did the same thing as well. There was one girl, she played for the tennis team, I believe. Another one that played for the volleyball team. So this is not like a one-off with this gentleman. The crazy part is that all of this came out. Well, there was rumblings of it while he was still in college, because he was supposed to be a first-round draft pick. But with all of this swirling around his name or whatever, he ended up dropping to the second round. I want to say he was like lower towards the end of the second round, like 58, 59, somewhere around there, when he ended up going to the Redskins. And so it's like this type of stuff, this pattern of behavior has definitely followed this young man for a while. Back to what you were saying about like how athletes get away with stuff. Like you said, man, it's star power. If the star player on the team does something, if ain't nobody died, give him a little slap on the wrist and throw a helmet on him. He got the game to play on Saturday, and that's kind of how it works. It's sad, but it's kind of how it is, man.
I've seen it play out at VCU, definitely. Real quick, big shout out to Cooley High with the $9.99 super chat. What up? Nice. Thank you for the love. You know what I'm saying? Just showing my support. Much love to all y'all that support the channel, give and all that stuff. I remember there was an event that I was coming from, and a friend told me that after I left, there were a group of like VCU basketball players that had kind of jumped this kid and beat him up. And he said that campus police came and got them, took them away, and then the story was like, sploosh, magic. But the kid actually went to the hospital. Kid went to MCV. If you don't know Richmond, MCV is like, I guess I would consider the closest hospital to VCU, at least at that time. Kid actually got hurt up. Multiple members of the team just jumped him, and it was just like, And not saying that like, not saying that you should run after teams, but like how is. I guess my question now to the panel is, I'll start off with C. Brown. What can we do to kind of curb the, I guess, activity, the negative activity, and like apply punishment in a way where, don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of money to be made, and they want these guys to be out on the field or on the floor or whatever. But what can we do? Because like you said, there's star power. It's not like he's a third stringer or something like that doing this. This is a guy who's actually killing it.
Two people you need to call.
Right.
Ready for these two people? Olivia Benson and Dick Wolf would have wrapped this up in an hour. Would have wrapped this up in an hour with commercials. You understand me?
Yo.
Quick pass. Quick pass.
Yo, man, they would have wrapped this joint up.
Done. Dun, dun.
Finish.
And that would have been it. That's it.
Yo, man. And we would have been able to see a little bit of drama between like her and her child or something like that.
Yeah. Wrap this up real quick. Angela Bassett would have been the 7-year-old lady.
Yep.
Man,
been over.
we out there.
That's like, you see what happened to Kellen Winslow Jr. Kellen Winslow Jr., former NFL player. He just got convicted of like molesting a whole bunch of old people.
Yo.
Like raping a whole bunch of, yeah, man.
Yo. What is
like this? So a lot of stuff going on out here, man.
And it's like, yo, y'all gotta these people gotta get punished. Because here's the thing: when they're not punished properly, what happens is it bleeds into the people that idolize them, and then we have like this subculture of people that are like, yeah, he does it because he's real or something. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, walking around gesturing your privates to people is just, I don't know, like this. I mean, I guess it's not particularly a crime, but you got to do something. You know what I'm saying? You got to do something. It is harassment because it's not a situation where he shot his shot and she was like, nah, and he was like, all right, and just walked off. You know what I'm saying? Dude kind of kept pushing it and pushing it. So, and like you said, there's other women that came out. So, I don't know, man. We got to do something, and it's got to be maybe not drastic, but it's got to be serious enough for people to act right. You know what I'm saying? Because people ain't just going to act right out of their goodness, out of their hearts.
I mean, it starts with the schools. It starts with the schools. Like all of this stuff happened at the college level, right?
True.
Now, if that school took it upon, like, it's a double-edged sword.
All right.
So it's like you have all of these allegations, right? And the school takes it upon themselves. The school takes it upon themselves and be like, yo, we kicking this kid out of the school. He's kicked out. He's off the team. We kicked him out. And then it comes out later on that all these allegations were false. There was a kid. Yeah. His name was Sean Oakman. He played for the University of Baylor. This kid looked like he was cut, like he was chiseled out of granite. Pause. He was like 6'8", 280, and he was just like insane. Insane. Like he was like insane. 6'8", 250, 260, ran a 4.5. Insane.
Wow.
He was the defensive end at Baylor. Projected to go in the top 5 of the draft. The senior year, there was some allegation, some crap comes out. Some female said that he had raped her. Come to find his draft stock falls. He doesn't get drafted at all. He goes to trial. Come to find out that she was lying.
Wow. Yeah. So
his whole career was ruined. So it's like it's a double-edged sword, man. It's a double-edged sword.
What if they put like a task force? And I know that's a weird term to use, but something that has to do with the colleges that bridges them more closely with the police. So when top tier colleges have this problem, they can kind of like speed a trial, like research it, figure it out,
or investigate it quickly or something.
Yeah,
They
so
do.
like, if it is true, we're kicking them off. If it ain't,
They do.
we let them play.
They do. The thing is that these programs, it's like, let's say we on LSU campus where football is king.
Yeah.
They have these task force, but they're attached to boosters. They're attached to the school. So it's like they gonna turn a blind eye. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's you, and then you can't necessarily bring like an independent task force into these schools because ain't nobody gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So it's really a double, especially on these college campuses, man. It's really not as cut and dry as
because I do understand
make it out to
how,
be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I do understand how public perception can get away, and then next thing you know, you're a rapist, and you're like, yo, I never touched anybody. So,
facts.
You know what I'm saying? But then I also see where it's like, this lady, like, she writes an email, and then calls the people, and then, goes to the office, and like nothing happens, and like dude is just living his life. So it's like,
both of those scenarios exist, and it's sad.
It's like, so I know we need a faster way of investigation because you want to be able to finish the investigation before, like, say, Facebook or Twitter goes wild. But then at the same time, you can't do a proper investigation, really, because, like, say if you were to take, and this is not to be, like nasty or anything, but say if you were to take undergarments and test them, it's going to take about 3 or 4 days to get the lab results back from that. You know what I'm saying? So say if you were to take some undergarments or maybe like sheets or something to test, it's going to take a couple days to get those
all
back.
the news is all over social media, everything everywhere. They're calling for his head. Yo, he can't play. Why is he not suspended? This, that, and the third before the results even come back. Like I said, man, it's sad, man. Like it really is, because you hear so many of these stories, like so many stories about females being harassed, females being raped and all this stuff by athletes on these campuses. And it's like half the time, like you just don't know who to believe.
Yeah, because it's like,
but
we know
then
the
it's
culture
like,
that exists.
Go ahead.
It's it's like we know the culture exists. So it's like, it's not that we don't believe it, but then it's like, situations where it doesn't, especially being a black man in America, you know what I'm saying? If it's a Becky, that it could easily be just like on her word, you know what I'm saying, off with his head. So it's like, you have this weird situation, but Jenna James comes in, she says, these athletes are on some sadistic sub-Schumer Garath, Mad Jim Jaspers, Arcade, Dark Beast, Batman Who Laughs, Necron, Parallax, Mr. Nobody, Zaz, Joker, Dark Side, Scarecrow, Trigon, Professor Pig type-ish. And this says, thing is, it all begins...
All facts.
Yeah, and then thing is, it all begins at these recruiting visits. I know from my guy friends that these schools, I'm talking at even the level of D2 schools, where these recruiting visits, they have set-outs, if you will, for these for these players. So it's because you take a person who's like, say they're in like elementary school, or they're playing like rec league or pee-wee or whatever, wherever you're at, depending on where you're at, you're calling something different. So ever since they're, say if like 3rd grade, you find out, oh, hold up, this kid is fast. Like, this kid is the fastest in his county. This kid might be the fastest in his district. He might be the fastest in his state. You know what I'm saying? So now, all of a sudden, this kid's getting treated better and different than everyone around him or her from like 3rd grade. What's that, like 8, 9? So like 9 years old, you've been treated differently and better than everyone else. Now you're in college. Your mama ain't around, your daddy ain't around. You're doing what you want to do. And you're with a whole bunch of other players who have been treated just like you. Grades don't matter. Talking back to teachers don't matter. Getting in school fights don't matter because I put points on the board. So now you're an adult who's never really had consequences. So now, I don't know. It's like, to a certain degree, it's like we got to stop treating people that are good at sports special, but they are special, but just not above the law.
You've literally described about 75% of male college athletes. The sad part is there are 25% of those athletes that are working hard, that are studying, that are grinding, that are doing what they're supposed to do, and then they get alleged of something. Like 75% of that, what you just described, is 75%. It's real. It's rampant and it's real.
Because I've played with some guys. Like I remember, I think C. Brown, you might remember Jermaine. Jermaine was treated way different. Once he hit AAU ball, poof, he was different. Now, of course, when you get to a certain age, he was short. Jermaine, Jay was short, but up until like high school, man, taking him on trips, taking him to dinners, all kinds of stuff. School did not matter. It was a whole different thing for him. And for someone who like me who played, coming off the bench is like a 6th or a 7th, I never really enjoyed any of that. So I didn't, I guess for better or for worse, maybe, never really experienced any of that. But I've seen it happen and been like, so he don't have to run laps. He don't have to run. He don't have to do wall sits. He don't have
How
to
about
do
you
push-ups?
run his laps for you? If you
How about you run 5 more laps and shut up?
Just like when Carlton said, pass it to the open player. He said, no, pass it the wheel.
Yo, you right. So Jenna James comes in and says, sometimes it's hard when you hear these stories to decipher from a Karen and the true victim of sexual harassment. And when they don't get playing time, they dip and transfer just like that. Yeah, see, that's another thing. They'll transfer to another team that'll be like, shoot, we'll take them. So I don't know, man. I know there's a lot of law enforcement that drags, or I guess in schools it's not technically law enforcement, but I know there's a lot of authorities that drag their feet on allegations. So I know we got to speed that up. The only thing is, there's some part of investigations you just can't speed up. Like if people are like stonewalling you, like professors won't speak to you, friends won't speak to you, like nobody wants to answer calls or whatever. So you have that side of the game. And then like I said, any lab work. I think the fastest I've seen lab work come back on anything for an investigation was like 3 days. 3 days on Twitter? Man, that's like a week. Shoot, by the time you get the undergarments or the sheets or the T-shirt or whatever back for any soils, I'm trying to keep this by the time you get any of that back, homie's been roasted or she's been roasted, and they've already made their decision. So even if you try to like accelerate some type of investigation, I don't know, and then maybe put him in a holding pattern where he's not playing, and wait. I don't know. It's weird.
So if I'm innocent, then I lose my draft stock, I lose my position, and I get accused of something?
Because technically, if we do this and we're wrong, and this person loses access to money, couldn't that leave us open to being sued for said money that he could have made?
Once you accept that scholarship, I'm exonerated of all that.
Oh, okay. So then in that case, they ain't got to worry about that. So then in that case, just I don't know, man. It's like, because the other, like you said, the other women did come out. So now it seems like there's a pattern. And I mean, I don't think that these women got together and was like, all right, check, the plan is. I mean, it could be, but
that the sad part is, NERDSoul, that happens.
Yeah, that does happen. That's the thing. It's like
that happens. Like, ooh, he's about to go #1. Oh yeah, girl, I'm about to get me some of that money. That's sad.
I've seen it's crazy because in my past I've seen scandalousness. So I can't throw scandalousness out. Oh, scandalous. I can't throw it out. So but then you have like, you have your situations where you come in and the girl is beat up and the dude's telling her to like kneel to him or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And trust me, that dude didn't just get like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it.
It's on the schools, man. Everything, all of that comes down to the school, man.
Stop treating kids special.
It's not even that.
Stop treating kids like they special.
At some point, morals gotta come into play, man.
Yeah.
Morals gotta mean more than championships, man. Like it just gotta, it just do.
Because there is, we don't know, but the players know. The coach knows.
Before anything gets to the police, before anything gets to social media, before it gets to the police, before it gets anywhere, trust and believe, all the coaches know the incident, they know the girl, they know this, they know that, they know all of that.
Yeah, like the play. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe they should take it back to like high school days. And it sounds a little goofy, but follow me here. Maybe they should take it back to old school, just mom and pop fear. Okay, you got this allegation. We're going to take it all the way. We're going to make your parents come stay up here with you. You cannot get none of your campus lifestyle, none of your free walks around. You don't get to skip class. Your parents got to check in and check out of where your whereabouts are.
You know why that ain't going to work?
That would be hilarious.
You know why that ain't going to work? Because mom's getting a check from the school.
So what? She's still getting house and board, but she got to babysit this fool because he about to.
Mom don't come up to the school and put on a show. Don't worry.
Mom about to come and lie because mom's looking for like mom like in a year. This dude about to have a Nike sponsorship, about to have his football career.
Baby ain't touched that half. Well, what you mean?
But what I'm saying is the liability will be off the school now because we brought their parents up here and they've been up here for 3 months babysitting this fool.
Word.
We did our investigation. So now this on the parents. This ain't on us.
We ain't got it. Shouts to Jenna James said, yeah, these females love setting up the guys, especially the ones that still are undecided on a major going into year 2 of college, if you know what I mean. Yet now, yes, once again, just like I'm sure you've seen the memes before. I remember there was a meme about NBA All-Star game, and it was the year they were going to Vegas. And there was a meme that was like, they were like, "Dear Vegas, please prepare for an influx of light-skinned women." And it was just like, but we know, there's a section of women that are trying to get chose. You know what I'm saying? We know. You know what I'm saying? So you have all of this stuff kind of converging at one point. You know what I'm saying? So you got players that know, but they're like, ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? Then you got coaches that know, and they're like, look, I'm trying to win. Then you got the player that's actually doing it that's like, I know I can get away with this. Then you got either a institution that's dragging its feet or doesn't care because they're winning. So yeah, you got some women that are like, nah, man, I'm just trying to get ahead on this. I ain't this ain't even happened, but I'm gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So because it reminds me of the girl that said that a group of black dudes raped her behind a church, and when they this was 2019. 18, something like that. She had scratched herself and like she scratched her arm, scratched her face, all this stuff, and then ripped up her clothes and stuff, and then kind of like stumbles into a church saying that some black guys raped her, and then it was all fake, and like homegirl did a full production. So it's like You know what I'm saying?
This all go back to Thin Line, Love and Hate with Martin. We saw how Shorty went crazy.
Oh yeah,
Beating a couple oranges in the door.
He also said I love you though, so that was his mistake.
Yeah.
He was like, I love you. Yo, Thin Line Between Love and Hate, low key classic. Don't sleep. It was Bobby Brown in it. Bobby Brown's in that joint, and you got Regina King. She was in it too. All right, so it's classic. And Lynn Whitfield, come on, man. It's like, I mean, she was crazy, but she was still in it.
Crazy.
So for the final story, I wanted to get into one that C. Brown sent me, and I thought this because I was thinking about this right before you sent it to me, which when you sent it, I was like, oh, I want to talk about this. All right, so from SB Nation, the NBA is at a breaking point with three-point shooting. Teams are shooting more from deep than at any time in NBA history, and it's causing problems. And the article goes on to say, the debate between Candace Parker and Shaquille O'Neal on Inside NBA underscored how Shaq has been left behind by the modern NBA. Teams are stacking their rosters with shooters, stretching defenses, and tearing conventional basketball concepts asunder. The role of the sharpshooter, once reserved to a couple of players on a roster, has now expanded to where as many as 4 excellent three-point shooters could be on the floor at the same time. And even centers have become capable of draining shots from outside too. When it comes to shooting, there's no question that NBA players are getting better, but now there are questions whether this shift is ruining professional basketball. Teams have worked out that the math is on your side to shoot as many threes as possible during the game, pushing aside conventional notions of mid-range jumpers, post-ups, which were so popular in the 90s and into the 2000s. The shift has some wanting to push for a change. And it goes on to talk about, like, there is no question that teams are shooting more from deeper than ever before, but the idea would be that teams could only attempt a limited number of counted 3.5 floated as being 20. Those 20 attempts are used up. Each 3 would be worth 2, like an ordinary field goal. With the 6 minutes left in the game, the floodgates would open up, allowing teams to attempt as many 3s for full value as possible. Talking about ways to change it. And the reason I thought about this, and hold up, I forgot, let me put the article in the chat for you guys. The reason I was thinking about this earlier before C sent me the article is because I remember looking at the Clippers beat Golden State. The Clippers beat Golden State. It was like 130 to like 105 or something like that. 104, something like that.
You talking about the game from the other night?
Yeah. And I remember looking at the score, and I was like, that score is way too high. But of course, me from another era, because when I see a score like 130 to 128, I'm like, nobody was playing defense. That's in my mind. That's the first thing I go to. And it makes me also think of a statement from Jackie Ray from The Fumble. She said, nowadays, it's kind of like basketball, tennis, where it's like, you shoot, I shoot, you shoot, I shoot. And it's like, it's not the same as the game in the early 2000s and the 90s. But at the same time, I remember people that I was around at my job literally calling the games between like Boston and Detroit, stuff like that, boring because the scores were lower. And this is when Detroit was kind of like running things. This is when Detroit had like Rip and they had like Ben Wallace, Rip, Chauncey Billups,
Tayshaun Prince.
Rasheed Wallace, stuff like that. So I remember people calling those games boring. So I don't know where that leaves us. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, people are going out and throwing up threes before the offense is even set up. At least from when I played. You know what I'm saying? When I used to play and when I used to watch it, I'm like, yo, y'all even set up the offense. But I know the game is different now. Like pretty much, and let me know if I'm tripping. I tracked this change back to Dirk. I think that was the nexus. Like when Dirk was shooting threes, I was like, hold up, something's different. Something's different.
Nah.
He's too tall to be shooting threes.
Dirk.
Like, what's going on? Why is he shooting threes? And why is he making them? Like,
it was the Warriors. I don't want to give Dirk that credit. I want to give that credit.
I don't want to give Dirk that credit.
I don't want to give Dirk that credit.
Like, nah.
Sorry. I want to give that credit to the Warriors. That Steph and Clay and all them guys just bombing from three. I want to this is my opinion of what happened to the NBA, right? Everybody saw what the Warriors were doing. Like, yo, let's just bomb from three. Like, yo, we don't really take mid-range. We just going to either take dunks, layups, or threes, right? So they saw that worked for the Warriors. They won a bunch of games. And so over the course of time, everybody kind of molded their game to kind of mirror the Warriors. The thing about the NBA that's kind of like redundant now is that everybody kind of runs the same offense to an extent. Like there's no intricacies. There's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no differences. It's pretty much the same offense run like with a twist. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, there's no, like we had like back in the 90s and 2000s, you had the triangle. Like you had like the Knicks in their bully ball. Like you had different variations of how to play the game. Now it's just one way.
It's just like
it's just one way.
It's like, yo, you just keep shooting that thing.
Just keep shooting them, fam.
Hey, yo, see, remember NBA Street when he was like, y'all just running and gunning. And like y'all like y'all boys just running and gunning. And Shot by Nolan says Splash Bros off them screens is unmatched. So it's like, it's, I know things go in cycles and things change, but it is, when I look at these scores now, every now and then I'm like, isn't the score a little high? Like I'm like,
because like you were saying earlier, there ain't nobody playing D.
Yeah, I'm like, ain't nobody playing no defense.
It's not the player's fault that nobody's playing D, right? It's the rule changes. People were complaining about the games being in the low scores, like high 80s, low 90s. People wanted to see faster games, more up-tempo games, higher scoring games, right? So they started changing the rules. Now it's to the point where you playing defense, fam, if you put your hand
because you can't hand
on
check
the
anymore.
person.
Yeah,
that's a foul.
Yeah, like that defense. I remember there's a picture with Jordan playing defense on someone, and he has like his hand up. He's like hand checking him. It's like that's a foul these days, and that's like a historic photo, but it's a foul today.
That's a flagrant one now.
It might as well be. It might as well be. Like you can't blame the players. Like the rules are to the point where it's like, fam, if you look at a dude too hard, that's a foul. Like, fam, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's like, well, I have to stay in front. What do you want me to do?
I think it's two ways that they could tweak this instead of doing all those rules that they stated that you read earlier. There's two ways that you can tweak this. One, adopt the trapezoid paint like overseas because they don't believe in paint presence. All the people do is shoot anyway. That's why they got the trapezoid. It eliminates the paint. That's the first thing. Number two, you can't really do anything about shooting threes, but people are going to shoot them anyway. What we can do is this. If you swish, we give you 3. You hit rim, it's 2.
Nah, you can't do that, fam.
Let's keep it a buck.
That ain't
if you a 3-point
if you use the backboard, that's 2.
Yeah, that's 2.
That ain't flying.
That's it.
Yo,
that trapezoid idea is a really good idea, though, fam.
Yeah,
low-key.
Adopt the FIBA rules, and
it'll really change the. That's not a bad idea, fam. Not a bad idea.
And Jenna James said, "Yeah, when the Suns and Kings came around with that new wave offense in the 2000s, that's when things changed." And then Shot by Nolan said, "Teams took that copycat approach too far with the 3-point attempts." It's like, yeah, because people were just like, "Yo, let's pray and pray," because the article goes on to show like the 3-point attempts, over the years. So like in 1990 and 91, there was around like say 10 or so attempts, per game. And now there's like 40 attempts per game. It is like,
and that's one team.
Man. It's like, yo, man, I don't know. Like when I watch, I'm like, yo, y'all ain't even get it. You ain't even let your people set up. They can't even get a rebound if they wanted to. Like give them a second. Like
they gunslingers out there.
Sometimes that might be the best shot. If I'm not set on offense, chances are you ain't set on defense. If I jack this up, this might be the best shot we get in the 24 seconds.
I remember playing, and if you did some mess like that, coach was not happy.
Coach, time out.
Coach would be like, "What are you doing? Shooting that ball? People ain't even down the court yet."
Yeah, Diggy, you never shoot the three.
Yo, man, I remember I was playing with this kid named Doug, and Doug came down the floor. And Doug was early. Doug came down the floor, had an open shot. He took it. He missed it, but it was actually close. Like dude could for a second it was like, oh snap, we about to make this. He missed it. The second the coach got a chance to blow that, to call a timeout, he was like, Doug, don't you never.
You wait until
your team get down there. Because he was like, somebody could have got the rebound, but when nobody's there, because you shooting everybody, you done left everybody.
Won't his coach for that game, his dad, his uncle, or his pastor, something like that? Somebody was super close to him.
Yeah, it was his pastor that was, That was
come on out of there for
that was the church league season. That was fun. Oh, the church league was fun. Oh, that was hilarious that year. But that was one of the funniest times ever. But anyway,
nah, it don't beat when homeboy put his hand in his face and crossed him up. It don't beat that. It don't.
Oh man, Justin was a trip. Anyway, but I remember those days. Like you would, the offense would come down. Y'all would set up, run something. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like I look at the score like 130. How y'all get to 130? Were there any steals? Were there any blocks? Were there any loose balls? Somebody like where are the Rodmans? Where are the Gary Paytons? Where are the defensive
they can't exist.
Well,
they can't exist.
They don't exist.
No, not don't. They can't. The rules dictate that they can't do that.
None of it.
They can't do that. They can't be GP. They can't be locked out. They can't.
Why do you think Drummond is getting shunned out right now?
Well, and the article goes further saying Casey says that the volume of three-point shots is in large part a result to those well-intentioned efforts to create more space on the floor for a free-flowing game. The deluge of three-pointers that has followed isn't entirely a product of kids trying to imitate Curry, but a consequence of a game when those kids are often wide open because the spacing has been inflated. Quote, one primary thing that triggers all those three-point shots is penetration. When you can't touch anybody, you are going to give up penetration, but these are hard conversations. And back to what you said, can't touch nobody. I can't really guard anybody because if I guard you close like I should, if you move and I bump you, it's a whistle. So now I have to play you off, but then also try to block you. You know what I'm saying?
Because it contact like the 3-point play.
Yeah, and I mean we can see that it works for a high-scoring game, but for people like Shaq, because that argument between Candace and Shaq, and I know a lot of people were making fun of Shaq, but I was like, no, Shaq, I think Shaq understands the game. Shaq, I'm pretty sure Shaq is watching a game or two a week, or if not watching all the games. But I think Shaq wants the game to go back to, or at least resemble, I think he's looking at a game that he doesn't recognize anymore. He doesn't
love either.
He's like, yo, you can't even do anything. Like you can't touch the guy. You can't even really play defense. Like
Shaq and Charles were physical players. They missed the real game.
Yeah, like there, and I mean, like you said, PL, Rodman could not exist. That man would be ejected in like the first quarter.
Facts.
And that wouldn't even be off his gameplay. That would be off his verbal, because these refs are soft.
Yeah, and he'd also because Rodman was someone who could get up under your skin. You know what I'm saying? He's all over you. You can't leave him. He's fast. He doesn't mind hurting himself to dive anywhere. It's like he won't stay out of your face. Then he's also saying stuff. So he's saying slick stuff. He's got tons of energy. Probably, I don't know, maybe he did an 8-ball before he got on the court. I don't know. All I know is Rodman never seemed to be tired like that. Like, for real. Like, Rodman never seemed to be tired. And then he'd, like, dive into people, throw the ball behind him and stuff. People, like, all kinds of crazy stuff. Ben Wallace, not the same, but Ben Wallace was strong. You know what I'm saying? So, all that stuff, like I saw a commercial with Mutombo where he was doing like the finger wagging. You can't do that no more.
That's a technical foul.
Like, yo, to even block somebody, you have to be probably closer than you should be for the rules in the NBA right now.
NERDSoul, just doing this is a technical foul now. You can't do this.
Yeah, so man.
That's taunting.
Shabbai Nolan said Rodman would get a tech every game just because.
As soon as he walked on the court.
Man, he just walked on the court. They'd be like, we don't like
it either.
They'd be like, we don't like your hair, tech. They'd be like, man, it's weird. They go on to see, like, talk about like how even though there's more attempts, it's not particularly that players are better at shooting the three now. And they're saying that there's a clear issue that players are just getting too good. Everyone is learning to be a shooter. Everyone is successful as the snipers of the early 1990s. Part of that is due to defensive limitations to free up shooters, and part is simple evolution of the league. However, in order to keep an imbalance so basketball remains compelling, it's clear that some changes will need to be made in order to reduce the incentive to shoot from three. The only thing is, from a fan standpoint, anything that you would do that I could think to slow down the three-point shot is going to make most casual fans angry. And casual fans spend a lot of money. And, because I know people talk about casuals all the time in a negative sense, but casuals spend a lot. Trust me, that stadium is not full of only basketball science heads, all right? Or people that played, in high school and college and stuff. Trust me, it's filled with a whole bunch of casual fans that love basketball. They watch it with their dad or their mom or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, even myself, I love playing basketball. I play basketball all the time. Like, Seal tell you, I used to shoot like 200-300 free throws a day. I was like, and even as good as I could have been, I probably could have sat on the bench at a D2 school. Like, and that's just being, so I super enjoyed playing basketball, right? Super loved it, right? But there's not enough of people that are like me to spend the money that NBA needs to make, I don't know, $10 billion a year, whatever they make, some stupid amount of money. You know what I'm saying? It's just not enough. So if we were to say, all right, cool, we're putting hand checks back in, people are going to see those scores drop from like 130 to, if they put hand checks alone back in, you probably see those scores drop from like 120 and 130 down to maybe like one even, just off of the fact of you can actually get to someone now. And I don't know if casual fans would like that. Or would it be one of those things where the NBA just changes, like, you got to deal with it. Like, you just deal with it. But
money talks, man.
He was like, because because you're going to end up with, like J. Ray said, they're trying to come and get me. See how the NBA do? You know what I'm saying? They trying to get me.
You too close to LA for that.
Yeah. Jackie Ray was like, it's basketball tennis, where it's just like, you shoot, I shoot, you shoot, I shoot. And like, nobody's really playing deep. But then at the same time, they can't play deep. Not in the sense of like the way that I used to play or the way that the game used to be played up
You just
until
gotta
like
pray.
maybe,
You just gotta pray that your opponent misses more than you do.
yeah, spray and pray.
That's it.
Yo,
Yeah,
just
that's it.
imagine if the Palace and Auburn Hills happened now.
Huh.
I don't think it could. I mean, it would.
They would have got
you talking
fired.
about the brawl? You mean?
Yeah, when they went up in the stands, all of them would have got fired.
That wouldn't happen now. That couldn't happen now.
I'm trying to imagine that. Because it's not like
these NBA players today. If you thought Artest and them was, no,
I don't. Because
that whole squad running up in the stand.
I don't know.
They ain't waiting for nobody to come down.
Because I mean, there are fans are still entitled enough to do something like that, but do I think it would happen now? It would take a while because you need that one person that's really drunk.
Now, these NBA, like, yo, I can defend myself. Like, yo, he run up on me. Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, because
on camera. You can't suspend me. I didn't invite this man to come run up on me.
Yeah,
Westbrook would touch somebody up though.
Huh?
But you know what? I bet you. Oh, Westbrook?
Man, Westbrook could take out like a few. Westbrook could take about 15 dudes out by himself.
Exactly.
Hey, hold on, Bradley. We don't want you to get your hands hurt or anything. I got this.
Like
you go chill, Bradley Beal. I got this.
Jenna James said,
hold on, I got this.
J.R. Smith would have been up in that joint too.
A word?
J.R. Smith would have jumped up in there.
Oh, yeah. He crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends. Now, Jenna James said that Becky and ATL would have got checked by Rodman. And Westbrook would have decked a few over the past few years. Yeah, because there are some fans that be habitual line stepping. They think like buying a ticket to like those, say like first 10 rows or whatever is like permission. It's like, no. That's admission to the event. It's not permission to act like you done lost your mind. I got the money. I will pay a fine for busting you in your head. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, man. Oh, Shabbat Nolan said Rasheed Wallace too. Yeah, and matter of fact, Rasheed was there, wasn't he?
He was there.
Yeah. Rasheed was there.
That year.
Yo, Rasheed Wallace got love for me for the rest of his life because I remember when they did his episode of Cribs, he opened up his fridge and he had Simply Soda in there. Shouts to Simply Orange. Shouts to people that know the deal. You know what I'm saying? Simply Soda. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it real for y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Jermaine O'Neal was in that joint too.
Yo,
and Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson too.
Yep. Steven, yeah, that was like the last of like the realest. Those are the last of the dudes who was like, I think all these dudes is crazy. Like now it's like, it's a mixture. You got like some, you got some Steph Curry's. It's like, oh, he's a nice guy. He wouldn't hurt nobody. But back then, it was like, everybody was like Charles Oakley or like, like a certain. Oh man, but yeah, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if it ever will get fixed. In NBA's mind, it's not broken because they're like, shoot, these scores keep getting higher. It's a better thing for us. The only thing is you're weeding out like a technical part of the game because even Allen Iverson was talking about when he first came in, he said like, coming from college, we would run plays and we would have plays that we ran for like offense and defense. He was like, when you get to the NBA, it's more of like, yo, get open. So like now, from that point, which was 96,
Yeah.
96. So 96 to now, it's like, yo, just shoot. Just throw it up. Just run and gun. And if you can't have slow teams no more. So like, you can't have Shaq coming up the court. You can't have Shaq coming up the court slow, or David Robinson coming up the court slow, or, I'm trying to think of anyone, or Yao Ming coming up the court slow. Can't have that. Like, everybody,
That's
running
why
a full
Blake got
blast.
picked up before Drummond.
Ding, 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 ding. We do not want Drummond. No. No, we don't.
Drummond not gonna shoot, but he gonna give you a 20 and 20 every night. That don't make
no
sense.
He's not on our team. Not on our team. Not on Brooklyn. Not on Brooklyn. No.
Oh, man.
Who is he going to guard on? No. We do not want him on Brooklyn. He's a great player, but no, thank you.
No.
Y'all take Dusty Blake. Come on, man. Cut it out. Blake ain't
Blake.
We can
We'll
play
take Blake.
out there.
I mean, Blake still
can actually
produce
shoot
a little something.
Drummond only get 20 points because he take 30 shots.
That's because he was on Cleveland. He had to.
No, he don't. There's other people on Cleveland that can score.
Oh,
Garland
there
Sexton has put up 40 pieces several times.
But is there
Garland puts up 30 pieces several times. Why do you think they told him to go sit down?
Do you see his?
Why
No,
you
they
think
told him
they told
to
him
sit
to
down
go
because they
sit
want to go
down?
young and they stupid.
Huh?
They young and they stupid at Cleveland. That dude's a walking double-double.
Why? Because Sam, I would score 20 points too if I took 30 shots.
If I got 20 rebounds and I got 20 putback dunks, that's easy money. That's cash.
That's easy money.
Sam, how many times he tip it up to himself before it go in?
You're on Cleveland. That's all I got. You're on Cleveland.
Damn.
Blady said,
one of the youngins let him do something.
Blady said Drummond, the game is passing by.
There's a reason.
Like they said on Bad Boys 1. I thought Daddy was in Cleveland. Yeah, he was in Cleveland.
Blady said double-double, but is he efficient? You know what I'm saying? Is he efficient?
Yeah, he ain't got it. Hold on. But he doesn't have to be. If he's on a contending team, all he has to do is get the boards.
Don't you always have to be efficient, though?
He ain't going to want to do just that.
Ain't got no other choice. Hit him with the LeBron. Shut up and dribble.
That's gonna mess up chemistry. He gonna I need at least 20 shots. Hey, wait a minute, fam. Wait a minute. I'll give you 5. We'll give you 5.
What I
them
want
other
you to
15 shots could go to KD, Harden, or Kyrie. Fam,
I want you to go down there. And I want you to get a rebound. That's all I want you to do. I don't want you to do nothing else.
If you can't do that,
don't do nothing
stay
else.
In Cleveland or go somewhere else.
When you come here, you don't shoot. You never shoot
at all. You're not allowed.
I don't want you. People will be asking why we don't trade you. You never shoot. Look, we need rebounds. You ain't see Robin trying to shoot nothing. Robin was like, I got 20 rebounds. Boom. I got y'all 20 opportunities to shoot the ball again. There, that's my job. What I want you to do. What I want you to do. And matter of fact, if I do my job and you do your job, that 18 to 20 rebounds is another 60 or so points. So what you need to do is you shoot, and Drummond, you go up under that hoop, all right? And you block out.
That's all. Yo.
There's a good 10 teams in the NBA right now that's not allowed to cut nobody.
Look, I want you to go up, grab the ball, and I want you to come down like this, and then swing your shoulders like this a couple times, and then
you pass it back out. You do not shoot. You are not allowed.
Don't even try to go back up with the no.
Sir,
no.
Mr. Drummond, I'm telling you right now, if you shoot the ball, you will never play another minute in our jersey. If
Drummond,
you can't handle
even want you
stay where you at or go somewhere else.
I don't even want you to have the ball in your hands like this. I don't even know.
That's it. Just this.
There's no reason just this. That's it. Because you need to pass. Pass the ball. That's it. I want you to go home and do that. Pass the ball. That's what you need to do. Bounce pass.
That's the only chest
pass
I want to see from
overhead.
You, that's it.
Maybe the baseball pass, but nothing else.
Nah, no baseball passes. No. We don't even trust you to do that. I need you to hand the ball softly to Kyrie, KD, or James Harden. Grab it.
That's it.
Here.
No more.
Here. That's all I need you to do, fam. That's it.
Right. Double. When you come on my team, you're gonna get a single double. All right, that's what you gonna
do. That's all. Damn. That's it.
Shot by Nolan said Drummond gonna get that putback and forget all about passing.
Oh nah. Time out. We with coach, I made it. I don't care. That's not part of your job description. Have a seat on the bench.
Bring it. What did I tell you? No. You give him the. Remember, on any given Sunday, you do what you're told.
Oh man, nah, KD, he gonna tap it in. He gonna hit that. KD, Harden, and Kyrie all gonna turn around and look at the coach simultaneously, and Steve Nash gonna be like, "What? Substitution."
Sit down. Blurted said, "Remember Roy Hibbert after he made All-Star? That was it for those retro centers." Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna see like a Twin Towers again. That's gonna be that. I think that time has passed. I mean, things go in cycles. Maybe 15 or so years from now, we might see a return to that. But right now, nah. You know what I'm saying? Until we get another like Shaq type, like the rookie Shaq type. Because people forget what rookie Shaq was like. Until we get another, it's probably gonna be over for centers in general. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no Bill Cartwrights out there. You know what I'm saying? You can forget that. It's over.
Days done.
So anyway, with that said, we have, of course, cleared away and exercised all the demons. Down in the bottom square, PL Parker Lewis, say what up.
What up? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, man, this was fun. Parker P.L. Lewis here, Lewiz. Help the Bears out now. Go run it up. It's available on all streaming platforms. Let's go.
Yeah, and of course, right over here, C Brown. What's up?
Yo, you can catch me on Dunkin' on Sports on Twitter. Also, I am TMC for Nip on Instagram. You can come holler at me. I always got a crack and a smile. I'm down for the cause. What's up? I'm out here.
What up? And of course, Blurty said Slim Shaq was a beast. Not Bill Cartwright, though. Man, yo, Slim Shaq was on point. So, any ID, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them places. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you've seen. Hit that thumbs down, and I'm gonna send you straight to the bench. You're gonna be like Drummond. All right, we're gonna blow the whistle. We're gonna make straight eye contact with you. Don't try to turn around either. We're gonna make straight eye contact. Sit down. At the end of the bench. Don't come close. You know how you try to sit close to the coach, be like, yo, coach, can I get in next? You sit down at the end of the
far
bench.
End of the bench.
Right. You know where the Gatorade is? Go past that. Hang a left and go to the lot Norris playing. Podcast for music, Spotify, Spotify for music, podcast for them sounds. And speaking of music, we got Help the Bear for you. We got some Arcatron for you. So we're going to leave y'all with some of them jams. So from us to you, we say thank you for chilling and peace. Because we got Wu-Tang for you and your children. You know what I mean? A woo for you. We out. Peace. All right, yeah.
I'm the man, yes, sir, that killed the bare-handed so the people won't forget it. Getting money for our legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the Parker Lewis.
Look, every
everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from Hunger.